Hello and welcome back to my channel. I've been reviewing some of my notes. I was actually writing a few of the ideas and things that we generated up last night. And looking through them, it was giving me some ideas and also some loose ends that I wanted to have some decisions made on. Actually, during this process, I did find that it was actually quite a good exercise in certainly getting all the decision points and discoveries that we'd made about the environment all down on pieces of paper and organizing it. And I think this would be just a general bit of advice when it comes to writing up your notes and your journals. You should really try to do it all longhand when possible, because I'm finding it's quite good for my cognition that you're deliberately writing information down. And I suppose this must be like the creative process for a writer. Things are coming to mind as you write it down. So I'm finding that quite a good process to be following. So I came up with it was quite a shopping list of items to go through. I suppose now that I'm at, I think it's my 10th video that I've been doing this now. I've come to the point now where I almost like want to take stock and just go through a few things, maybe not all related to the game, but actually revolving around some of the things that I've been talking about. So one thing I do like doing is I like rediscovering Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I haven't played it for a long time, so if I go off on a tangent, it's only because I'm quite enjoying this rediscovery process. And one of the things that I've been quite looking forward to is our Lord and Master, Lord Seaward. So I've wrote up a profile on Lord Seaward Ironshield. He's our level 10 fighter. He's a nobleman. He's the ruler designate of Marchton, our Lord Protector, servant of Bane, God of War. A bit of the background about what these protectors are. They're designated fighters of sufficient level who agree to act as agents of the Church of Bane. They represent the military dimension of the Church, and they assume supreme leadership in any conflicts. I've given them almost a kind of designation that are comparable to lawful neutral paladins, but without any of the clerical powers, but are given certain advantages by the Church in return for their service. So he fulfills a kind of niche in this pantheon, the lawful neutral alignment of a super fighter that is given special powers by the clerics. He almost has carte blanche when it comes to warfare and making any military decisions on behalf of the order. It's all quite exciting stuff, I suppose, if you're in charge of all that. Again, something I was talking about yesterday, the representation, the livery of the black surcoat with the white cross, which is quite a stunning, it will stand out in a fight. Black is an interesting colour because in the Middle Ages it was actually quite difficult there's not that many black examples in for clothing. I think it was quite a difficult thing to create pure black. So this is so it kind of represents a colour of status. So that's why the leadership get to wear it, and the followers are all in the grey garments with the white cross. Just on his deputy, his lieutenant, I've decided to name him Fulcrid Bloodaxe, and again he'll have an alignment of lawful neutral. He's a level 5 fighter. He's lieutenant, deputy to Seaward. He has plate mail shield. He's +2 battle axe. Now I've decided that all magic items in this world will be given a name. So they're in the old tongue, it's called a dirhail, and this means fiend crusher. So I thought that would be a nice little touch for all the, if we do discover any magic items, that would be quite an interesting thing to do. Jasper is, I've given him the title Silent Walker. He's going to be our, I worked out he was a level 8 thief as a follower. He's associate of the Seaward, and he's in charge of our special ops training. And then we have our host of 80 heavy infantry. What I would quite like to do with Seaward is to discover what his possessions are, because we're left it that as a level 10 fighter, in the Dungeon Master's Guide, there will be a section under our NPCs that we can, it's under creating a party in random dungeon adventures, and party magic items. There's a section here that has, if the individual is 10th level, we get 3 items from table 1, and there's an 80% chance of 2 items from table 2, and a 40% chance of 1 item from table 3. So let's have a bit of fun and find out what Seaward has in terms of magic items that he's going to bring into this conflict zone. So if we determine that he has 3 items from table 1 anyhow, so I'll just get a sheet of paper and do all my scribblings on. So Seaward magic items. Now I've never really rolled on this table. I certainly can't remember rolling on this table before, so who knows what it's going to generate. Hopefully something quite useful for a fighter. I think because he's a lord, he'd probably distribute his items amongst his followers, his favoured followers, in return for some form of service or obligation. So we've got 3 items from table 1. We've got an 80% chance of 2 items from table 2. So yes, we've got 2 items. That's good. 2 from table 2. And a 40% chance of 1 item from table 3. So let's see if we can get a 40. We can. He's got the full works. Good for him. I suppose he's been out doing a lot of adventuring in the past. I haven't rolled up his stats, but I can assume that he's probably in his late 40s. He's had a good 20 to 30 years of hard adventuring. He's built up a lot of experience, and he's also entered this political arena where he's become a major figure, certainly in the eyes of the monarch and his noblemen and the church, or this Church of Bane. So let's see what this is all about when it comes to table 1. So table 1, we've got 3 items, and that seems to be all sorts of things to do with potions and rings. Well, there are a few interesting. Bolts, +2. Okay. Well, the proof will be in the pudding. Let's see what we can roll. So our first item is going to be a 5, 2 potions, heroism and invulnerability. Well, that's interesting. 2 potions, heroism, and what was it? Invulnerability. Yes, invulnerability. That's the first one. And our second one, 19. 1 javelin plus 2. Right. 1 javelin plus 2. The javelin of Bane again. So I suppose the problem with the javelin is that you'd have to get it back. You could probably throw, I think in the Olympics you can throw a javelin, is it about 100 meters or something? It's quite a distance, so if that gets stuck into somebody at a distance, how are you going to get it back? I suppose you have to be the victor. I don't think they automatically return to sender. I think that would be a step too far. 15. Right. 1 sword plus 1, no special abilities. So at least he's got a +1 sword, so that's good. 1 sword plus 1, but there's no special abilities. Maybe table 2 has got a bit more exciting items on it. And we've got 2 items on table 2. Okay, it's a D8 and a D6, so I presume if it's high on the D6, we double the D8. So I'll get my D8. So the D8 and the D6 first item, we have 16. Oh, right. That is 2 weapons, a crossbow of speed and a +2 hammer. I don't know what a crossbow of speed is. Maybe that's one that's like a rapid fire. Yeah, I presume it is. So 1 crossbow of speed. God, that's exciting. I suppose it's the nearest thing we've got to a machine gun in the Middle Ages. And a +2 hammer. Well, this can be another named weapon. It'll have in the ancient tongue, it'll be the hammer of Bane. You know, these are all weapons of Bane, I suppose, but they'll have some mystic origin. Legendary hero that it was made for. So that's our 2 from table 2. 1 from table 3. Now I'm assuming the more tables you go up, the better the item becomes. Yeah, because there's a +4 defender sword. My goodness. That's a major piece of kit. Okay, let's have a look what we're going to get. 16. Oh no, it's two 6s, 12. Oh, right. Excellent. So this is his suit of armor. We have 1 set of plate mail +3 and shield +2. Well, this is all very appropriate for a super fighter. So we have 1 suit of plate mail +3 and a shield +2. Excellent. 1 shield +2. So from a personal perspective, Seaward, he might have the javelin just carried around so that he can use it at a distance. He'll definitely be using his sword, or maybe his hammer. Have to see what the sword was like. And then he has his suit of plate mail, which is fantastic. That will give him a really good armor class, and his shield +2. Great stuff. Okay, I've been dying to do that. Now the only thing that I've got left to do in Seaward's host is maybe his retinue. Did I have any questions left on that? Yeah. His retinue would be, you know, I talked about maybe he might have an armourer. he's probably going to have his own court mage or magic user. But we don't really need that kind of detail, right? There is a point where you don't really need so much detail at this stage, because we haven't even started adventuring yet. And it's really just, it's almost like I'm just indulging myself in a few little side trips into the setting. On my list, I also had ruins in the sub-hex terrain. Yeah. Okay. So with the map, now I did say that what I was going to do with the map was that I was going to write up a better version, but I thought what I'll do is I'll just keep the map that we were doing and just kind of highlight it a bit. So this is, our cartographers have been mapping based on our instructions what this place is like, and they have laboured away based on our rough sketches and overlaid it with their more detailed and accurate markings. So we've got the original document that we're going to use. And for these two hexes here, I wanted to determine what was actually the not the dominant terrain, because is there a definition of what rough is? Rough, badlands. Okay, so I'm assuming that's things like say it was a plain. It's got things like fissures in it and jagged rocks and all sorts of nasty bits of maybe steep slopes and cliffs, and it's completely kind of cut up and difficult. Maybe volcanic. It's got lava fields, or it's anything that's difficult to kind of maneuver across. But by giving it another terrain, we might be able to give a bit of nuance to the hex. So the one that's got the ruined palace in it, let's roll based on this rough table, just to indulge my curiosity. 16. Mountains. Okay. Well, I'm not suggesting that we have a super duper mountain in there. Maybe what we've got is a mountain that's been either been a volcano and is just that's maybe an idea, and either a volcano, so it's got the remnants of the volcano there. It might even be active, but I don't think that would be too credible in a populated area. Or it's an ancient cone of volcano, and it's been forced backwards. And the ruined palace maybe had lava, like a bit like Pompeii. It's erupted during this wizard war, this big confrontation 200 years ago. Well, I'm saying 200, I think it is about 200 years ago in my notes. And it destroyed everybody that lived in that palace, and they were all forced under this lava field. Yeah, okay, that sounds... Right, I'll make a note of that. So I have this as a kind of catch-all of all that in our notes. So hex 18, it's got a mountain, which we're going to call a volcano. And it's extinct. But it's destroyed the palace. So we've got a kind of Pompeii type setup. By palace, I suppose you have this view of a large complex. So the fact that it's been destroyed means that a lot of it is probably completely beyond adventuring. It's so decimated by the destruction of the volcano. So just leaving a few areas that might have been still, I suppose, reachable by stairs, and it would have intact chambers below ground, because the surface would be destroyed. Okay, and we've got, I suppose, the unusual situation, we've got another one. So let's see what that one is. 15. Hills. Okay, so maybe these are just more, let's say the lava flow erupted into here. It's not a surprise, because this area is hills. So maybe this is where the lava flowed into what was a pristine hill area and just destroyed it and completely obliterated the land, and it's turned into badland. So this looks all reasonably sensible. So that's hex 19, hills. It's not, you don't have to do this, but it just, I think, well, why not use the tools that are available in the Dungeon Master's Guide to give a wee bit of flavour to our game. So when we come to adventure in that, we've got a volcano and some lava fields to contend with. Okay, good. Right, where's my notes? Yes, this is something I promised from a previous session. Was I quite fancy, again, I didn't really want to go into all the metagaming, but I do want one political event that's happening in the kingdom. So you'll remember that our kingdom is to the south. I think it's southeast, isn't it? We've only mapped out, so that's 15, 30, 45 miles. So probably about almost, what, say 60, 70 miles, we're entering our kingdom. And what I've done is I've created, I think it's on this sheet here. Yeah, here we go. I've created a political, social, and economic recent events of kingdom table. And I've gone through some likely either natural disasters, there's like natural disaster, plague, famine and weather, or sometimes a political, or maybe there's an invasion. So the first one I've got that we could get is an expansion, colonization, crusade, which is kind of what we're doing in, Lord Seaward's doing his brief in the Northern Marches. Maybe there was a monster incursion, and there's been a call for a defense of the frontiers. Another one is a growing power and evil. It's a bit like Sauron in Dol Guldur. There's things starting to conspire. And then we have a conspiracy of dark forces. So maybe there are some forces that are starting to come coalesce around a leader. That wouldn't be too nice, would it, if that happened? A natural disaster, the plague, famine, and weather. Raids, brigandage. Tell us about it. We know all about that type of stuff. Do we have a strong ruler and there's a national rebirth? That could be an option. Or do we have a weak ruler and it's being manipulated by a kingmaker? Now, the famous kingmaker back in the Wars of the Roses was, I think it was the Earl of Warwick, and he was behind a lot of the Lancastrian kings, Henry VI from memory. So do we have that situation, almost a bit like the War of the Roses? Or has it gone full civil war and we have a rebellion or civil war? I've got a calculation to say how long ago it occurred or started. So I suggest that we just roll this once and see what's happened in the last 8 years, just off the bat. It's not going to have maybe a direct influence, but it might shape our relationship with the kingdom and just almost have it at the back of our mind in how the story develops with Seaward's brief. 8. Rebellion, civil war, which started or occurred 1 day 8 years ago. Oh, it's just started a civil war or a rebellion. Well, a rebellion could be, if it's a civil war, it's a full-out fight between two noble houses. If it's a rebellion, it's maybe there are some barons that have decided we don't like the king, and we've decided to. So let's put a bit of nuance into this. And 1 to 3 is a rebellion, and 4 to 6 is a civil war. Now, civil war to me sounds a bit more serious. That's when you're getting into your War of the Roses territory. So it is a rebellion, and by a 3, I'll say it's quite a serious rebellion. If it had been a 1, I would have said it was just a one lord has decided to break away. But this looks like quite a serious rebellion. So there's a big division in the kingdom that we have to that might be down alignment lines, it might be down political lines. We don't know. But that's all I'm going to do on that just now. But that's quite interesting. If I get my sheet again, political event 1 year ago, and I've been promising myself to do that. So I finally got round to making my table and doing it 1 year ago, and it is a rebellion. And I would say it was a serious one. So it's definitely ongoing. It's only a year ago. It's in the muscle memory of the kingdom. Okay. Right, what did I have on my list after that? Oh yes, our magic user. Now I went ahead and I put our characters onto this this one sheet, this summary sheet, and it's useful having characters all on one sheet because and I quite like again this tactile thing of just actually writing out. It's quite therapeutic. Just you might say, well, you could probably print it and put it onto a word processor, but it's it's quite nice actually just writing it, doing it old school. This is what I'd be doing if I was playing back in 1979. This is exactly what I'd be doing. I'd be doing it with a pen and pencil. There'd be no computers. There wasn't any computers. The best we had was, I think it was the ZX Spectrum, which was an old UK tiny little. It's probably got less computing power than your calculator now. So where was it? Yes, I was going to talk about the fact that we have a magic user, Lindra's Runeweaver, the elf. We haven't selected what his spells are, so I thought I would do that. So there is a section in the, I always forget where it is. I think is it up front? Or is it a wee bit further? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Well, these are explanations of spells. Is it here? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Well, that's good. So with magic users, there's an assumption that you have 4 starting spells, and these are rolled randomly. So again, this is great for solo because it's all random. One will be read magic. I know that, and the other will be one will be an offensive, one is defensive, and one's miscellaneous. Now we might come up with a load of rubbish, but I think it's probably best just following what the dice say. And it hasn't done us any harm so far. So if we just do the spells, so we've got read magic anyhow. What else have we got? Let's choose our offensive spell. 1 1d10. 4. Friends. Well, he's an elf in a foreign land. He probably needs friends, because nobody likes him very much. No, I'm sure everybody quite welcoming to it. They're probably in awe of elves, because when you think of them, this guy's, what was he, 180 or something? It's a ridiculous age for a human being to comprehend. And you always just wonder how societies can deal with these facts. The fact that they have creatures, intelligent creatures walking around that are living for 500 years or something. You would have thought it would change their society and just the way they react to things, all this longevity. But, I definitely am digressing now. His defensive spell, 4. Hold portal. Good. So that's useful in a fix if we want to make sure that the clawing ghouls can't get through our door. And a miscellaneous. 1. Oh, comprehend languages. So on the face of it, it doesn't really sound very exciting, but hopefully the style of campaign I'm going to play, everything is going to have an importance at some stage. So even Tristan's tanning skills are going to come in and be useful at some stage. I am going to try my level best to shoehorn in some tanning dimension to the game. And these, on the face of it, don't look really very exciting or inspiring. There will be a time, particularly the whole portal, I think that speaks for itself. But comprehend languages could be very useful in a fix if you have, say, a fire giant that is trying to explain the fact that he wants to roast you on his spit. And you want to try and understand that he's going to do that if you don't do X, Y, or Z. To me, that sounds quite a useful thing. The only thing I wanted to do on the spells was, I think in my first video, I did say that I wanted to use spell components. Now, I think that's quite an interesting dimension, because say you need to do hold portal, you need like amber beads or something. If you don't have any amber beads, it's not like you can just phone up Amazon and they'll deliver it. This is a medieval society, so I think the scarcity of these items are quite good from an adventuring point of view, and gives a kind of realism to the motivations of magic users. They're always going to be on the lookout for not only ingredients but other spells that they can scribe down in their spell book, and they'll be hungry for things like scrolls and all that type of stuff. So let's just quickly check our spells. What have we got first? Friends. What do we need for friends? So it's a magic user spell, first level. And the good thing about these spells is that they are in alphabetical order. Friends, components. VSM, so M means material. The components for this spell are chalk or white flour, lamp black or soot, and vermilion applied to the face. Oh my goodness. So I can't remember that. Components for this spell are chalk, that's white flour. So you get your white flour, you get your soot, your lamp black soot, and vermilion. So this must be like some sort of like paste or something. So you put it all into a kind of like a powder or something. Yeah, and you just get it up on your face. Extraordinary. So say vermilion is difficult to find, you know, that could be a problem. Oh, that's interesting. See, these are quite good to know. What else have we got? Hold portal. That's HI. Oh yeah, hold. Right, so that is just verbal. So you say stop, no, hold fast when you're talking to the door. So that doesn't need a component, so that's okay. So we can always have hold portal. Comprehend languages. This is like the Babel fish out of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, isn't it? Oh God, I'm into the 7th level clerical. Don't worry. Comprehend languages. Ah, right. So there is a material component for that too. When the spell is cast, blah 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 blah. Understand. Spell does not. The material components of the spell are a pinch of soot and a few grains of salt. Well, that's surely we can have that, like a little pouch of soot, and then it's definitely got salt. So I don't think, see, that's a good one to have. That's a no-brainer. So we're always going to have that. But this is just to illustrate the point that I think that would actually add quite a bit of flavour to the, you know, excuse the pun with the salt, but a bit of flavour to the proceedings if we've got that type of impact in our gaming. Okay, I wanted to do that. Again, I'm not going to go to the stage. He's got a very high intelligence. I think his intelligence is 18. I'm not going to go to the stage where I select his spell book and do all that type of stuff, because it's pretty boring to do. And in his instance, he's probably going to just have every spell in the book that's available. So this is like ones that he scribed down to his book. These ones have been given by his master back in Elfland. But he's probably going to be able to learn anything. Okay, I think what I'm going to do for just now is I'm just going to call that a day for today. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.